giant hoover sucking them up to great heights, and they couldn't do anything about it at that point.
Suddenly I hit very strong lift and it sucked me into the cloud. You can feel all the area of the glider pulling you up, and I felt pressed in my harness and just going up very fast.
This phenomenon, known as cloud suck, is extreme lift due to a thermal at the base of towering cumulonimbus clouds. The taller the cloud, the greater the lift. At the center of the dreaded thunderstorm, this extremely strong updraft produces hail, rain, gale force winds, and cloud-to-cloud lightning.
My heart was beating because I knew that we are now in a big shit and we have to go down as fast as we can.
The pilots are forced to perform an emergency descent maneuver known as spiraling.
A full spiral dive, the glider points at the ground, pulling a lot of G-force. Your face starts to feel like it's going back, your arms become very heavy, and all the time your instruments are beeping at you like crazy, the GPS is going and your compass is going around in circles. And that, in effect, is a very hard position to hold as well, but they know if they release it, that they'll get sucked up even quicker.
I just couldn't manage, just physically. The power in the spiral is so strong that I almost black out.
That spiral dive can lead to descent rates in still air of around 20 metres a second, but the updraft itself would have been doing upwards of 30 or 40 metres per second when she got inside the cloud. So effectively she had no way to escape it whatsoever. She was stuck.
I saw Eva on the left side of my field of vision. She made the spiral for 1 or 2 minutes, but then the thermal was so strong that it was like a hand picked her up and took her out.
Moments later, Chinese pilot He Zhongpin is also sucked into the storm. Eva's friend Gerald continues to spiral to try to break out of the updraft.
Gerald didn't realise at the time, but when he popped out the side of the storm, he was very lucky. He was just on the edge of the big storm that sucked up Eva.
I got in a smaller thermal, then I had the chance. It was just a chance to go down. I was outside of the cloud. I saw the farm, I saw my landing field, and I was sure that I can make it.
Landing near some old farm buildings, Gerald is forced to shelter from the fierce lightning storm.
I ran to the other pilots, to the shelter. The lightnings were so strong and the wind is blowing, and we realized that maybe we can have a problem with the lightnings. It was for me the biggest and the strongest thunderstorm that I ever saw. I was sure that Eva and the Chinese pilots will have a big problem. Maybe they will not be alive.
Gerald makes contact with the Austrian team leader. He gives him his coordinates.
I started to think about that we have to wait after the thunderstorm is finished, and then we have to look around for these two pilots. I started to realize what happened.
Having narrowly escaped the storm cell, Gerald is now acutely aware of the danger facing Eva and Zhongpin.
I was very scared to be inside this thunderstorm. It's like you are in the middle of the ocean and suddenly you have 100 sharks around you. You cannot do anything.
The only thing she could do was to keep the glider flying. That was critical. You don't know where you are in relation to the wing half the time because it's almost pitch black. So she's just trying to guess what's happening. Feel the pressure in the brakes to understand if the glider's pitching forwards or backwards, with the hope in the background that maybe, just maybe, the storm might spit her out one side before it takes her up into the icy heights.
In an extraordinary feat of endurance, Zhong Pin has battled his way to the edge of the storm cell.
All of a sudden, as he was a little bit further away from Eva and more to the edge of the storm cloud released him and he started to come down. And at that point, lightning struck.
I could hear a lightning behind me. So I was really praying, if there are some angels or God, please help me. And I didn't stop. I was really hoping and believing that it's gonna be all right.
Driving the German retrieval van, team leader Stefan Mast remains unaware of the danger Eva faces.
At that time, I didn't know where she is. I knew that she was far ahead of my position, and I only knew that I'm under heavy rain and I couldn't see her.
Eva makes a desperate attempt to contact her support team.
After there was no response anymore, for me it was clear that this situation has a big potential, that this pilot will be the first I cannot bring back alive.
The lowest layer of the Earth's atmosphere, the troposphere, provides just enough oxygen for humans to survive. In mountaineering, the air above 7,000 meters is known as the death zone, where the body uses oxygen faster than it can be replenished.
No one has ever been above 7,000 metres and survived before. In fact, previously pilots were even dying at 6,000 metres and 5,000 metres due to turbulence and hailstones and lack of oxygen and hypothermia.
My eyes are getting black and all my energy, all my power just left me.
No longer able to withstand the force of the storm, Eva is now being swept up towards the death zone. While waiting for the Austrian team to pick him up, Gerold calls Eva's team leader, Stefan Mast.
I tell the German team that Eva is in a big problem and they will not listen to me. I was frustrated and I was angry about it. I was angry about it because I had lost friends in thunderstorms.
This was so big, and the thunderstorm, the lightning, I was in a position where I had no chance to help Eva because it was raining like hell.
Stefan receives a radio call from team member Andreas Malecki, who has landed 10 kilometers away.
I was glad to have another radio call from Andreas Malecki, who reported his position where he safely landed, and I could take care of somebody from my team. But during the whole time, my thoughts were, of course, with Eva.